Welcome back to another episode of Life After Corporate, my friends, and happy 2026. I know that the month is nearly over, and yes, we sashayed into 2026. There was no sprint this year. Highly recommend that. And as I was noticing everyone posting pictures and videos from 2016, which is a trend on Instagram, it got me thinking that I launched this business in 2013 and that was 13 years ago. And so in this episode, I will share with you the 13 most important lessons that I have learned from 13 years in business. And I hope it serves you too, because a lot has happened in the last 13 years. I launched a business, I got a divorce, I moved homes 3 times, I lost a beloved pet, I gained a new one, I reframed love and met a new lifetime partner. I graduated a son from the university. I expanded my trusted circle of valuable connections and collaborators. I learned from some amazing women mentors, and I rewired my beliefs about money, wealth, success, and happiness. And I served 623 clients in our programs, including the Launch Lab, Reliable Revenue, and now the Life After Corporate Community and the Business Coaching Academy. I joined 9 entrepreneur communities. I've kept 4 of them. I hosted 98 webinars and workshops and master classes. I wrote 554 weekly emails and Lord knows how many social media posts. And through it all, I have weathered recessions, a pandemic, the Great Resignation, the Great Boomerang, the Great Reset, which is what we're in right now. And now we're in the midst of this sea change, a revolution in corporate cultures and in beliefs and value systems of women leaders and entire generations of working professionals. Hello there, millennials. You are redefining success on your terms. And through these times over the last 13 years, I've experienced a lot, and some of it might be of value to you. Some years revenues doubled. Some years profits suffered, or I had to reduce my own paycheck just to reinvest in the next stage of business growth. And although it wasn't always glamorous, it's been incredibly rewarding. So without an Instagram filter, here are my top lessons from the last 13 years. Number 1, your self-worth is not defined by your bank account. You can experience 6-figure months and weeks without a single sale. It never means anything about you or your value. Money is always a mirror, and it's here to tell you what's working and what's not, but your bank account doesn't judge. It's only a barometer of how solidly you are executing on your strategy and your positioning. Lesson 2, poor revenue months don't have to result in reduced prices. Not every pause deserves a flash sale. One bad month doesn't mean your prices are too high. There is zero correlation here. But it might mean you need to get better at sales calls or hire out for some support, whether that's someone who keeps your calendar booked and busy or someone who is a more confident closer. Lesson 3, every conversation is a sales conversation. When you are aligned to your mission and vision, you can't help but notice opportunity in every person that you meet. Being open to partnerships, referrals, and reciprocal exchanges of value makes every connection full of potential. Lesson 4, at the same time, you need great boundaries. Guard your time and focus as your most precious assets because they are. While every conversation is a sales conversation, not every person, event, or request is worth your time. It's tempting to say yes whenever you're asked to speak or be a guest on a podcast, but ask first, is this my audience? Does this host have a solid reputation and following in my industry? And what is the potential ROI of this effort? Because the more you grow, the more precious your time becomes, and your capacity is more important than a vanity metric. Which leads me to my next point, lesson 5. People pleasing is a habit you must drop. Saying yes when at the end of the day, it's a wasted use of your time and talent. Any interesting person I would meet, I would invite onto my podcast. I get so excited. It's like, oh my God, you're so interesting. You should be on my show. But oftentimes I was disappointed by their level of insight and the true value they brought to my audience. Quality and consistency matter. So protect your brand by never diluting your message or value. Aligning with the wrong partners can actually tarnish your brand rather than enhance it. Number 6, your social media presence needs to align with your values. Just because your competitor drops a TikTok reel or Instagram story every 10 minutes doesn't mean you need to too. It's tempting to judge yourself based on how well your internal worthometer stacks up to the performance of your competitors, but don't. You will connect more deeply to your audience if you are being true to you. That said, visibility is currency. And while you can show up and connect in your way, you must show up. And I happen to love in real life workshops and events, and I'm equally jazzed by webinars, masterclasses, and workshops. My 3-day masterclasses are my most fun way to engage and get to know my followers. And it's the best way for you to get to know me and test drive what it would be like to work together. So visibility is currency, and I like investing my currency in deeper relationships and deeper conversations. You're not going to see me showing behind the scenes of how I make chicken soup on Instagram, or the fact that I made a spanakopita yesterday morning and a cauliflower biryani last night, that we had Greek and Indian food in the same day. That's not what I want you to know about me or care about me. And if you want recipes, definitely hit me up. I've got a whole slew of them, no matter what your flavor buds get excited about. But it's not what I post on social media. That brings me to lesson number 8. Content is the most overwhelming responsibility for an entrepreneur. I have hired no fewer than 5 or 6 social media producers or agencies, and there is no silver bullet. And mark my words, ChatGPT is not a magic pill. Anytime you outsource your message, you dilute your perspective. The best strategy I've seen is to dictate your ideas to chat and have it organize your thoughts into a cohesive script or piece of content. And if you know me, I am the queen of the paradigm shift in thinking. I love a good reframe. And the most creative reframes come from my own imagination and from my own lived experience. And 2026 will bifurcate authority and thought leadership between the ones who are worth following and the ones who get you to think differently, and the ones who are just rehashing someone else's thinking. Even Gary Vee, the king of the 10-second insight, is moving to long-form content on Substack. So the only path to an elevated brand is to be an original, not a manufactured copy. Lesson number 9, entrepreneurship is a spiritual journey. If you've been in my ecosystem for any length of time, I'm sure you have heard me say that. If this work doesn't inspire you to be more, do more, and grow more, you're just not doing it right. This path is designed to test you, to get you to question your beliefs, bust through perceived blocks. And I say perceived intentionally because blocks are just manufactured ideas with no basis in reality. Learn to go deep, not just surface level. Have a practice that supports you daily, whether it's meditation, journaling, prayer, exercise, visualization, rituals, or all of the above. Keep a daily practice that keeps you present, open, and receptive. When you are receptive, that's when the big insights drop in. The kind of ideas that change the trajectory of your life and business, but you won't imagine them if you don't make space for them to drop in. So increase your capacity to receive by creating a morning ritual that gets you present. Lesson 10, be curious. Always learn new things. Read a lot. Hang out with interesting people who expand your ideas. There's a lot to absorb in 2026 with AI, constant change, and what feels like the ground beneath us constantly shifting. But if you are too rigid with your thinking, you'll fall through the cracks. If you are too quick to react and pivot at every sign of friction, you will not move anywhere and will burn out from moving too fast without a clear direction. If you feel like you're in the eye of the storm, you're probably right. 11, know your strengths and weaknesses and surround yourself by others who compensate for what you're not good at. I'm not a detail person, and if you're close to me, you likely know that. I am a big picture strategic thinker, a pattern spotter, and a spotter of opportunities and maker of connections. That's why I have an operational genius on my team who ensures that the campaigns are locked and loaded, every business process has a zap that makes it work, and only the right people and tasks show up in my inbox. You don't need doers on your team. You need strategic thinkers who can implement. Lesson 12, hold on to your dreams, especially in the tender early days and weeks of your business. Your bold moves may threaten the sense of safety for those who are close around you. They'll caution you not to take risks, that the job is a safer bet. But hey, it's 2026 and there are no safe bets. Women, and now millennials, know this especially well. In corporate, you are disposable. In entrepreneurship, you are indispensable. Keep your dreams and plans close to your heart until you feel like you're on solid ground and your confidence can withstand some criticism. Lesson 13, and these were in no apparent order. It was a stream of consciousness. Your worth is undeniable just because you're here. The biggest benefit of becoming an entrepreneur is unraveling decades of conditioning. Confidence isn't innate, it's earned. It's by doing things that feel hard at first and succeeding that builds your confidence as a business owner. But if you're not addressing issues around worthiness, you will continue to sabotage your success. So get a great coach who knows the difference and can help you and call you out when you're hiding. Knows the tools to help you shed old beliefs, thoughts, and habits so you can spend more time enjoying the amazing human being that you are. Leaders and entire generations of women professionals are seeking success on their terms, and I couldn't be happier. That is the mission of Life After Corporate. This is the new feminist movement. This is where you have agency to decide how you spend your time and how you earn your money. So this may have seemed like a random list, and I admit it was a stream of consciousness on a Sunday morning, and it was all written longhand in my journal. There was no AI that contributed to these 13 lessons. And I have learned a lot these last 13 years, as well as the prior 20 plus when I was in corporate. And it's exactly these experiences that make you different from every other coach, consultant, and service provider there is. That's why when you join me in the Business Coaching Academy, you get a time-tested framework to uncover your unique ability and your specific undeniable offer that is exactly what today's buyers want to invest in. So don't succumb to cookie-cutter strategies or, Lord forbid, invest in a coaching program because of an Instagram ad. You don't need a coach. You need a proven, tested process to build a business, and that is what the Business Coaching Academy provides. And for now, when you join, you get access to our custom-built GPTs that will help you speed up this process by doing the heavy lifting and analysis for you without fitting you into a generic box. So reach out to me on LinkedIn or in email at deb@lifeaftercorporate.com to learn more. And when you enroll in the Business Coaching Academy, you also get a year's free membership in the Life After Corporate community. It's a great deal when you can get personalized small group support up to 3 times a month. And people always ask me, by the way, who am I working with? Is it you or is it someone else on your team? And I think that's because there's so much bait and switch in this world that you sign up for a program to work with a coach only to find out that you're working with someone who's below them on the team. And at least for now, you're working with me. And for 2026, as we update all of the training modules to be relevant to today's market dynamics and consumer demand, you get me. Every 2 weeks, I conduct a 90-minute live business strategy session with all of our BCA members. So to enroll today, it's less than $1,500 for the entire year. So there is nowhere that you can get this much mentorship for such a small investment. We will put the link in the show notes for you to click and learn more. And if you're listening to this at a future date, that price may change. We plan on increasing prices in the next couple of months. So if this is speaking to you, this is the best opportunity to jump in and start learning now and building a business that works for you. And if this episode was helpful to you from wherever you are at your stage of entrepreneurship, let me know. Reach out to me directly. I'd love to hear what resonated. And if you found value today, please subscribe to our show and leave a rating or review. It means so much to me to know that we are hitting the mark on what you are needing most right now. That's it for now, my friend. We will see you in another week. And this year, you will hear more from me on this show. I realized that last year, as things got busy, I relied on more expert interviews. But I think you need to hear more of me in order to navigate 2026. And so that's what we'll be doing. If there's something that you want to know, hit me up, let me know. And we'll see you next time on Life After Corporate.